Well, as I share with the team, that was not one for the Louvre, that's for sure. But obviously important to, be disappointed with some things, but winning the game. That was probably the most important thing that happened today. And Bridget Carlton, I thought Bridget was, doing what Bridget has been doing. So it was great to see her be consistent, contribute both ends of the floor. So we'll take the win and try to be better next time we play.
But even on a night when the shots weren't going, particularly layups for some strange reason, the defense was there.
Yeah, and that's what Court reminded me. She said, "Yeah, but Cheryl, when we didn't score, they didn't score." So that's kind of our mindset, But yeah, it was obviously a tough night for their shooters. I don't know what it was. Is it full moon or something tonight? I don't know, but obviously. There was a lot of looks I thought that Atlanta had that I certainly would not want to give them again, and I'm sure they probably feel the same about us. But this is what today was to be, and we like you said, we hung in there defensively and thought we were hard to play against, as were they. It's not like they weren't playing defense either. I mean, they were physical, and we found some things in some of their coverages, and thought we were making mostly the right reads. We just couldn't make shots.
When somebody of the caliber of Phee is struggling to get the shots to go down over a couple of games, I mean, she talked about how she's been going to the gym every day. And I mean, do you even worry about that, or do you just assume that eventually it's just going to start going for her?
Yeah, I don't really know what to make of that. I don't think Phee ever really. She's not one that's affected long term. She's one that is really easy to move on to the next game. I thought she had a nice stretch coming out of the halftime. We really started to force feed her a little bit on the block to get some easy ones, and thought that was really, really good for her. So I thought the second half was better. But Phee just has to always do. She's going to be consistent. She's always going to be there. Some days it's like offensively you feel like you can't miss, and other days, or even over a couple games, it's just not your time for whatever the reason.
One of the things that she was mentioning, Cheryl, is that when the shots aren't falling for her, she tries, and you've seen this for years now, I mean, she tries real hard to give you all the other facets of her game,
Sure.
The rebounding, the assists, the steals. Yep. I mean, obviously that's important for any team, but particularly with a group like this, what does it say when your leader is able to do this on a night when the shots aren't falling?
Well, I mean, that's what you hope for as a coach, is that your best player is that. That she understands that the game is so much more than scoring it. Yeah, it feels better, when you're scoring, but that's Phee is not a front runner. She's somebody that doesn't play. She's not one that has to score to play well. She embraces all the other stuff, and as she works through some of the challenges, and she got to the foul line a little bit, got some rebounds, like you said, shared the ball. I think her ball pressure was good. And, though it wasn't a wide margin as it had been last couple of games, she was a deflection winner. So, yeah, to your point, that's what when your best player does that, that means that you can have a good team.
Coach, Dorka's gotten north of 20 minutes in each of the last two games for the first time this season. I imagine, missing the first part of the year is, a hard thing to overcome. How do you assess how she's been performing lately? I know BC's injury forced her into the starting lineup, but does she finally have that momentum going that we saw from her towards the end of last year? I
think so. I mean, I think she would tell you that. She's, it's kind of crazy. She had 11 shots. The ball kept finding her because she's, what'd she have? So she had a double-double. I think for her, too, the understanding how much she moves, she cuts, she's a good basketball player. When they throw to Phee and her player goes to double, she knows to cut. And so she found some easy ones there. She rebounded the ball. I think that was big in a game that, early on we were disappointed. The offensive rebound percentage is, for our opponent is not, that's the thing that we're, kind of on them. That's, maybe Dorka's a fix. And so those minutes, could get more and more. We got to get Phee off the floor some. You got to get Lan off the floor. Lan was pretty tired today. She was really just struggled physically today. But she's still when she's out there, she's gonna compete. But we needed Dorka today to sort of pick up to Lan. But that's what we see with those three. That trio is to be able to get people off the floor, and then also Dorka is a good player to give us something different, give us size in the post, give us rebounding. She can play get a rebound and go in transition. She plays great off of DHO. She screens, she rolls. There's a lot of good things.
Coach, kind of back-to-back real gritty wins from the Lynx here. I wonder, is this team just kind of have a different level of like toughness or grittiness to pull these wins out? Or if you could speak on what's kind of allowing this team to continue to play good defense despite the offense?
Yeah, because I think the great sign is that it's there when we have these games, because that's what we needed to find out about ourselves, right? When the shots are falling and we're shooting, these crazy percentages. Ever since Kent wrote about it, those percentages changed. But while that was happening, yeah, you could miss things on defense and still be okay because your effective field goal percentage was so high. Now we got to find out when it corrects and you kind of get normalized a little bit. What is going to be your path? And so I think that's a great thing to find out with this group is that it's real. And it's not just, when we have a lead. And I think that's a great sign for us.
Natia also seemed to be just playing with a lot more confidence this game.
Yeah.
Wonder if you could just speak on, she had the breakout game kind of Monday. This game seemed a lot more aggressive and just confident. Have you noticed the changes as well, or what have you noticed?
Well, I think we all of us, if you had the entire team and coaches lined up here, I mean, we've known that T's start to the season that there's a lot better player in there. So we all knew that it was going to come. She knew it was going to come. So we were never sort of wavering in that. We were all pulling for her. And so now she's in that space where she's getting confident with what we're doing and what we need her to do. And her passing has been terrific, in both the last games, and pushing the pace, giving us something different than when the starters are out there. And so we're not surprised to see it. We kind of, it wasn't going to be if it was going to happen. It was going to be when it's going to happen. And so I think we're finding now that she's in that good space. Yep.
Yeah, sure. My questions got taken, but I got to ask you, what's the record now?
157-7.
Say that again.
157-7. It's 7-0 this season. 7-0. Thanks for asking.
28-51 when you don't score.
Yeah, we're not talking about that, man. We're not talking about that.
Hope we get the 28th tonight.
I wanted to circle back real quick to Dorka. I know you mentioned building off the momentum of last season, but did you see her come back from playing overseas this off season with any new set of skills or changed as a player at all?
I think just, she's already a mature player, but you can see when you're playing in the EuroLeague and you're playing on a good team like Skio and you're competing for championships, those are great experiences. Those are good players. The style of play is a little different. She'll tell you that when she got back here. That was a bit of an adjustment. But I just think you just gain maturity, more experience and everything. Like Dorka, and we talked about this last year, Dorka will give you the same thing every time she plays. The same thing, the same good things every time she plays. The variable is the offense, whether shots go in, her perimeter shots go in, or whether, she gets, good rim attempts like she got today. So, but otherwise, her ability to move the basketball, her understanding of our concepts, schemes, all that is terrific for a young player. So she's a good one.
On the challenge you won early in the first quarter, how often are you lenient to challenge a play less than 5 minutes into a game?
Probably wasn't the smartest thing. But here's, in those moments, this is what you're thinking. Lan was so passionate about it. Sometimes you have to give them wins. And she better be darn sure she's right. She was adamant, right? Maddie wasn't sure. I don't know why. Whatever Maddie saw. She's like, I think you're going to lose it, And I'm like, yeah, but you got to give the player, sometimes you got to do that for them. Stand behind them. Because Lan goes through a lot that, like I'd like to fight for a little bit more, but I can see what the officials see sometimes, right? And so I'm always choosing the official side. It's like the parent that says, well, you did something wrong, you got to fix it, And so that's what that was about. Wasn't necessarily, luckily we have a second challenge, right? Otherwise we would not have done it, of course, but the out of bounds are the ones that are most overturned. So there's a much higher percentage in that one.
Dorka started almost all of last year. She was talking today about how she embraces the role she has now. Natia has been a starter. She is embracing her role. I mean, and then tonight you needed them both to win a game when your starters just weren't going. I mean, you have to accept and embrace a role to succeed at it, right?
Yes, for sure. And if you're around those two, it's not a surprise. What they bring. Like when a player says, "Well, I'll do whatever the team needs," I don't know what percentage of them actually mean it. They all want to start, right? That's kind of that thing. I'm sure they prefer. I'm sure Dorka would prefer to have the spot she had last year. I'm sure T. But being on a good team that has depth and knowing that they're going to be utilized and when they play well, they stay on the floor. I think that, for them, it's like you can't get caught up in that. So, again, like in selecting people and making sure that you're adding, because you have people on the bench, because it can be pretty shitty on the bench if you've got the wrong people. And it can really, really, suck the life out of you. And, I'm thankful for the group that we have.
Alyssa Peely got some minutes tonight. Was that matchup dependent or just trying to get the offense going?
Yeah, we always talk both. We always talk about, before the game, we always talk about our rotations, and I tell the players this all the time. We literally think about playing every player. We go through scenarios for every single player on the roster. I may not feel like that for them at times if they get a DMP, but we really do. And this was a game that we felt like there was opportunity, and we felt like because of the over-helping that Atlanta tends to do, that we could have space for Peely to be able to shoot the basketball. So, so both of those things.
Any final questions?
Thanks, everybody. One more.
Coach.